Hey, it's Steve from that old Yorkshire geek, and welcome to a slightly later than planned Magnificent Mondays number. What we up to? Number 59. Well, this week we're doing The Last Samurai, starring Tom Cruise, as you might guess from the big, massive name that's the same size as the title. But it's Tom Cruise, so what the heck? A great film. I've watched it twice today. Once with the director's commentary and once without. But anyway, sorry, apologies for being late. I've had a super busy day and then visitors came, and so I've only just got a chance to finish watching the film. And Winggrace says it were rigged. The poll. I did the poll. Hang on, I'll get the poll up and show you. Hang on, where are we? Where are we? I'll show you what the results of the poll were for this week's Magnificent Mondays. It's weird. It is weird, I must admit, how this film came up from the near the bottom of the rankings. Where is it? Here it is. Look, here it is. Right, so I'll share that. There it is. I'm doing the wrong bloody thing again. I'm useless. There we go. These were the choices: Zulu, Gladiator, Black Hawk Down, The Last Samurai. And for a while, the Zulu and the Gladiator were neck and neck in the lead, and Black Hawk Down were way down, at the bottom of the board. But then suddenly got loads of votes from nowhere. There were 78 votes in total, and Last Samurai came storming through to win. I can't explain it. It is what it is. So there we go. To be honest, I would hope Black Hawk Down would win. Because I haven't seen that for a while. But anyway, I haven't seen any of them for a while, to be completely honest. But I fancied a bit of Black Hawk Down. We'll do that later. Anyway, speaking of Star Trek, as we weren't, this is just for Winggrace, because I just found this on Facebook today, and it just made me laugh. Well, today, about 20 minutes ago. There we go. A Spirit Halloween Captain John Harriman costume, not available until Tuesday. It tickled me. I thought it were amusing, so I thought I'd share that. For Winggrace. Right, so, anyway, let's get rid of that now. The Last Samurai. From 2003. Starring Tom Cruise, as we said. Directed by Edward Zwick. Cool name. Who's done other films? What else has he done? I think he did. Is it We Are Soldiers? I can't bloody remember. I'm gonna have to look him up now. I've forgotten. Oh dear. Where are we? There we go. No, he didn't do We Are Soldiers. Well, why did I think he did We Are Soldiers? I could have swore he did. Blood Diamond. Courage Under Fire. What else? The Great. Oh no, I didn't direct that one. Defiance, which was an okay film. All right, I thought he did We Are Soldiers. You know that Mel Gibson film. I could have swore that were him. Obviously not. Anyway, right, never mind. Where were we? Screenplay written from a story by John Logan. Screenplay by John Logan, Edward Zwick, and Marshall Herskowitz. Music, excuse me, by Hans Zimmer. As I said, it stars Tom Cruise, Timothy Spall, Ken Watanabe, Billy Connolly, although he's not in it for very long, and lots of Japanese actors, who's apart from Ken Watanabe, Koyuki, Shin Koyamada, who plays I forgot his bloody name now. I don't know, Ujio, Hiroyuki Sanada. You'll know his face. In fact, there's a few familiar faces in this, Japanese faces. Anyway. It had a budget of $140 million and its box office was $456 million. So that's pretty good, isn't it? And it was nominated for 4 Academy Awards and didn't win any. But it was nominated, which is cool, isn't it? What else? Yes. In my poll, I picked 4 films. I actually picked 5 because I thought you could do 5, things in a poll on YouTube, but you can't get under 4. But anyway, I picked 4 films that were, I put like based on real events, but that is a loose term in Hollywood. This one's more inspired by a time in Japanese history rather than based on real events. Although it's said that the battle at the end of the film is essentially, what they call it, recreation, not a reenactment or whatever, of the last battle of the Satsuma Rebellion from 1877. So, but anyway, but all the characters pretty much are all fictitious characters, and as I said, it's rather than being a true story, it's inspired by the events of the time in Japan. In fact, I highlighted something down here. Where did I put it? So I'm just covering myself. The film was based on the stories of Eugene Colache and Jules Brunet, both French Imperial Guard officers who fought alongside Inamoto Takeaki in the early Boshin War, and Philip Kearny, a United States Army Union Army and French Imperial Guard soldier, notable for his leadership in the American Civil War, who fought against the Tututni tribe in the Rogue River Wars in Oregon. The historical roles of other European nations who were involved in the westernization of Japan are largely attributed to the United States in the film, although the film references European involvement as well. Essentially, it bigs up America, which is to be expected, I suppose. Right, so let's get on with this film. We'll be here all blooming night. Right, as usual, oh, by the way, don't forget, like and subscribe. Like and subscribe, as Windgrace used to say. He doesn't do it anymore in his videos, does he? Why don't you do it anymore? Why don't you go, like and subscribe, in your scary voice? Like and subscribe, share the videos, drop a comment, hit the notification bell, if you're subscribed already. Right, we're live on YouTube. I imagine we are. Yes, we are. I hope we're live on Rumble. Let me refresh it and try again. See if it comes on. You're going to come on? Yes, we're live on Rumble and we're live on Twitch. Right. It says he does it on his Trek videos. Right, okie dokie. He mustn't have done one for a while then. Thinks. Anywho. Oh, I'm not supposed to be saying that, am I? We're live on them. Throw me a super chat, what else, and become a member, and join my Patreon, buy merch, etc. Links in the description, as are the links for me Facebook, X and Instagram, and my 2 books, Mercury Rapids, light-hearted sci-fi action adventure about UFOs and stuff, Silent Predator, short horror novella about big cats eating people in a North Yorkshire village. It's all a bit of fun. Right, let's get on with the film, shall we? Let's get on with the film. Obviously, I'm not going to be watching the film, as I always say, because YouTube would go mental. But we'll be watching it in a series of stills, and I may play the odd snippet, and I'll probably be crying by the end of the film. It's one of those films. It's a blokey film, all about honour and dignity and duty and friendship and things that make fellas go... Does me anyway. So, right, let's get on with it. Hang on, let me full screen it, and we shall begin. By the way, I'll probably get everything wrong that I say on it, because I'm not an expert on Japanese history and all that stuff. I've done a disclaimer at the beginning now, so if I get things wrong, don't blame me. Well, do blame me, but don't be surprised when I get things wrong. Right, we begin. I don't know why the Warner Brothers logo is blue, but it is. Anyway, so we begin. We're in Japan, and I think we get, is it Timothy Spall's voiceover? Hang on, I'm going to have to listen now. When it's ready. Hang on. There we go.
They say the old gods...
Yes, we hear Timothy Spall, who plays... Oh, God, I can never remember the names of the bloody characters. Timothy Spall. Simon Graham, who reminds me of Stede Bonnet in... Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. He just does. Maybe this character inspired that character in that game. I don't know. But anyway. So, we're listening to him talking about Japan. And, shush, I forgot to mute him. So let's go back next. They say Japan was made by a sword and then dipped in the ocean, and the drops made the islands of Japan. And they were seeing... the Japanese landscape, and but a lot of this was actually filmed in New Zealand. It was filmed in New Zealand. They did film some bits in Japan, and it was filmed in in Hollywood, on the Culver City backlot. I can't bloody remember. Burbank. Hang on, I'll check. Yes, the Warner Brothers Burbank backlot. Basically, the New York street, we'll see it in a minute, the New York street doubles as a Japanese street in Tokyo. Anyway, there we go, honour. So we're seeing, this is where we're meeting Ken Watanabe as Katsumoto, that's it, Lord Moritsugu Katsumoto. And it could be argued he is the last samurai of the film. But it's kind of a plural. It's on about all of them, him and his clan. It's not Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is not the last samurai. Don't have any delusions about that. But anyway, here he is, and we're going to see like this dream he has. There we go, about a white tiger that comes in and it's killing people and stuff like that. And he's thinking it's like a prophecy of what is to come. And when he sees Tom Cruise is the white tiger, by the way. When he sees that, there we go. I wonder if that's one of what they call them, them Las Vegas chaps, magicians, Siegfried and Roy. I wonder if this is one of their tigers. I don't know, but anyway. There you go, the last samurai. I think that means samurai. We see it again later on. Right, we begin. Seeing Tom Cruise as Captain Nathan Algren. There he's a drunk. He fought with Custer, and he's a disillusioned soldier. Anyway, he's going around America now, working for the Winchester Company, promoting their rifles and shotguns and stuff like that. But he's a drunk, and here we see William Atherton. I think it's William Atherton. It looks like him. Let me check. Does he have a? I don't. He's not there. Hang on. Let me check. This one. I'm sure it is. It looks like William Atherton. Be way down the list because he's not in it very long. Where is he? Where is he? Who is there? Look, who is third from top? William Atherton, Winchester rep. See, he don't even have an on-screen name, but he's third billing. According to IMDb. They have a great house too, the Winchester House. Yes, the spooky Winchester House. Because, well, don't ask me her name, Mrs. Winchester, that had that built, didn't she? And to hold all the spirits of everybody that Winchester Rifles had killed. They did a film, didn't they? Was it Helen Mirren that were in that? It wasn't very good. Let's put it that way. But anyway, and I like Helen Mirren. I like spooky stories. But anyway. Right, so anyway, here we go. He's introducing Captain Algren to where he is, of the 7th Cavalry, and they're going to play a band. There we go. And out he comes, but he's not coming because he's drunk and he's disillusioned and he don't want anything to do with anything anymore. So he gets angry, does William Atherton, and says, "You're fired." There we go. But, get out there and do your job even though you're fired. They're paying him $25 a week to do this, we learn. Anyway, he comes out and he's drunk, but he's still reading his lines. There's a fellow with cue cards up reading his lines. The gun that's winning the West, there you go. "Many's the time I found myself surrounded by a swarm of angry hostiles." There he's reading all that. And then he starts shooting at people. Well, not at people, but shooting in the crowd. And scaring them all. Oh, I was talking about scalping and stuff like that. But it's and then we see Billy Connolly, who's going to feature briefly in this, but memorably. So he's describing the rifle, whatever the hell it is. Don't ask me. I don't know anything about guns, but so here you go. Start shooting them things over there, whatever they are. Something made of steam, and look, everybody's ducking. But says, "Mr. McCabe here will take your orders. God bless you all." And by the way, Billy Connolly was the only one that didn't duck. Right, so there he goes talking. He meets him outside, and he's going to take him to meet somebody. So off they go into a matte painting. There's a lot of that in this film. There's a lot of background replacements to make it, authentic looking. Right. So I can't remember where is it. Are they supposed to be in San Francisco, somewhere like that? It looks like it, doesn't it? Somewhere hilly by the sea. It could be. Anyway, I think it said at the beginning, but I've forgotten. Maybe it says in somewhere else. Let me just check. Does it really matter? I don't know, but I'm curious. No, it doesn't say. Never mind. Right, where were we? Right, it's where we're going to meet Mr. Amura. Colonel Bagley, played by Tony Goldwyn. And Mr. Amura was a Japanese businessman who's really powerful. He's got the ear of the Emperor, who is played by... I will tell you, just a minute. Who is played by Mr. Amura. Where the heck are you? Masato Harado, who is a Japanese director who doesn't do a lot of acting, according to Edward Zwick, but he does a good job in this film. But he's the main baddie. He's kind of a Bond villain. He gets a bit Bond villainy later on. But right, so basically, what they want Nathan to do is train up the Japanese army, and they'll pay him $500 a month. They say $400, but he says, "I want $500 a month." So he wants to train the Japanese army in modern fighting techniques, because Japan's becoming all modern now. Because it's 1876, by the way. In the Meiji dynasty, or whatever they call it. Right, so that's what he's saying. They're hiring Europeans and Americans and stuff like that. There's Britain and France and all them are all staking a claim out there in Japan. Which is where the Shogun story came from and all that, isn't it? By the way, this film is essentially Dances with Wolves or Avatar or any other sort of outsider being taken in, and becoming part of the local people sort of story. It's one of those, which doesn't make it, a lesser film. Right, so here he is. So they're talking about that, and it's where he says, "There we go. He wants $500," and yes, and this is where we're learning about Katsumoto. The Ken Watanabe character was once the Emperor's teacher, but now he's a bit of an outcast because he won't give up the old ways. There you go, to talk about samurai. We learn that samurai means to serve later on. They say warrior, but we learn it means to serve, because they think they're serving the Emperor. And in this film, obviously, the samurai are depicted as the good guys, and the modernising Europeans and Americans and the modernising Japanese, they're the bad guys. But historians might argue about that. I've seen in places they're saying that a lot of the samurai lords were easily corrupted and stuff like that, and they were clinging to old ways, and not letting women do things and all that stuff. But there's probably 6 of one and half a dozen of the other, isn't it, to be completely honest. Anywho, right, so there he is having a good laugh about it, because he's a bit of a drunk. He's probably drunk now. But that's what he's going to do. And then we learn that he hates Lieutenant Colonel Bagley. We learn that he hates him because he served under him, and it was part of a massacre. When Bagley ordered his soldiers in to go and massacre these innocent people. So he hates him for that. Anyway, so he's going in to talk to Olgren leaves, and going to talk to him. He says, "I'll do it. I'll kill whoever you want for $500 a month, but just don't forget that I would gladly kill you for nothing." So there we go. So he's on his way to Japan. There we go. We see a CG steamer. He's on a steamer to Japan. Here he goes, and now they should be playing the Titanic theme for this bit, shouldn't they? Get Celine Dion singing. because this is all blue screen, obviously. But anyway, so he's going to head into, there we see Mount Fuji. He's going to head into Yokohama Harbour. And we see that he's got this little bag that's got an Indian design. Can you call it that? Native American design. There we go. He keeps his notepads and stuff in. Because much like Kevin Costner in Dances with Wolves, he makes notes of his life, and draws little pictures in. So that's that. There he is putting his uniform on. Here they go, Yokohama Harbour, 1876. Pardon me. Another, not a great composite, that, is it? I could do better than that, and I'm rubbish. Anyway, here we go. So, right, here we are at the port, the Yokohama port. This was actually filmed in New Zealand at... Just a minute. Where are we? Where is it? Come on, I've seen it. Here we go. At New Plymouth in Taranaki, New Zealand. Right, that's where that was filmed. Of them coming off the boat, and then when they get to the main boulevard, it becomes New York. But not filmed in New York, filmed in Hollywood. But it's the New York street set on the back lot, made to look Japanese. It's where we meet Simon Graham Simon. I can never. Which way around is it? Simon Graham. I think it's Simon Graham, isn't it? Oh, let me check again. Oh, where the heck are you, Timothy? Simon Graham. Steed Bonnet. They're taking a rickshaw or whatever they call them into the town, and he's giving him a potted history of what's going on. Well, he will be in a minute. There we go. So, Japan is modernising too fast for some people, such as the samurai. There you go. The emperor's mad for all things Western. He's a very young emperor, looks barely out of his teens. But he's kind of he doesn't really have any power, so to speak. He's like he's become a symbolic leader, much like the British monarch is just a symbolic leader. They don't have any real power, and that's in Parliament, innit, with democratically elected politicians, and that's kind of what Japan's like-ish at this point. But like I said, the samurai said they're moving too fast with all this modernisation and bringing outsiders in, because Japan, it's an ethno-state. It kind of still is. But anyway, so they're heading. There we go to. Is it going to show it? There we go. To the Royal Palace. There it is. I'm guessing that's probably a CG or whatever. So I won't want to be going up all them bloody stairs. Not even a handrail. But anyway, up they go. And Simon's telling him, what to do. Don't speak unless spoken to. Bow, and if he stands up, bow again. And if he bows, you bow even lower. Anyway, off they go. Right, so here we go. We're in the throne room. There's the Emperor sitting in shadow, which apparently is the thing that they did. There's Amura, and all these I don't know who they are. Here we go. It's all the bowing and all that. And then bow again. And so Amura's speaking for the Emperor, and being all diplomatic and all that stuff, but the Emperor is curious. He wants to hear about Nathan's fights with the Indians, they call them. There you go, the American Indians, and talking about were they brave warriors and all that stuff. There we go. And of course Bagley just says the red man is a brutal adversary, but Nathan says they were brave. So there we go. So then he comes out and he speaks to we see him out of the shadow. So anyway, so that was just like a formality that they went through just to meet the Emperor. So Bowie, they must be David, yes, because they're doing a lot of bowing, not bowing, bowing. I've always, ever since I was a kid, I know it's pronounced Bowie, but I've always pronounced it Bowie. That's just me. Anyway, right, off we go. This is Billy Connolly's now. Right, you little bastard! Anyway, listen to him, because it's Billy Connolly, and we want to hear Billy Connolly speaking as much as we can, don't we?
Bastards! You will stand up straight, or I will personally shit kick every far eastern bannock that appears before my eyes!
I think is the sergeant, is it? Well, the stripes on his arm kind of give it away. So we're beginning the training. They're not very good. Apparently there were, conscripted people that had never even held a gun, before they joined up or were conscripted. So we're hearing the monologue of Algren, Tom Cruise, saying that he's going to get 3 years' worth of captain's pay for 6 months' work. There we go. Most of the peasants who have never seen a gun, so he's got to train them. And this is General Hasegawa. Looks like a train conductor, doesn't he? But he's got one of those faces. I've seen him in other things, so I'm going to look him up now. If he's here, General Hasegawa, is it going to show him? Togo Igawa. What have I seen him in? Let's have a look. He's got one of those familiar faces. By the way, he lives in England with his wife, Adrienne Babber. Oh, very good. There's been loads of stuff. Eyes Wide Shut. You know what? I don't know. I don't know what I've seen him in. Just lots of stuff. Lots of stuff he's been in. Oh, he were in The Last Jedi. Oh, I wouldn't have known. Well, we've all got to do something rubbish, haven't we? He'd done a lot of English stuff, so he must have lived in England for a lot of his life. Let's have a look. What does it say? Yes, a Japanese character actor who works primarily in British theatre, film and television. But he's got one of those faces, so I've probably seen him around. So he's the general in charge of the army, right? And they've got funny hats, haven't they? Or helmets, should I say. Right, so he's making his notes again. We learned that the general and Katsumoto fought together at one point, but now, it's kind of a Japanese civil war that's going on right now. But no shots have been fired as yet. So there was more talk about, he's telling more about the samurai and all that stuff, and how their way of life has been like this for 1,000 years, and now it's just all suddenly changing. They can't handle it and all that stuff. Anyway, then Simon says he's curious about. Because we learned, by the way, that Olgren's a bit of a linguist. He's good at picking up languages, which is useful, isn't it, for later on? But that's why he knows, some of the Native American tongues. I think he says Blackfoot. He's fluent in Blackfoot, so that's what he's saying. Say, cut his tongue out and boil him in oil, which he doesn't. And then he asks about scalping. There you go. I've always had a fascination with scalping. Him there. So he says, never understood the technique. So then Olgren describes scalping. He says, imagine somebody who hates you, with utmost intensity, just grabbing a handful of hair as you lie helpless, and then just cutting it with a rusty blade and then yanking it off. Imagine what that does to your nervous system. There you go, and he shows him. And there's like, oh, don't worry. But don't worry, Mr. Graham, Simon Graham's a good guy. Anyway. Right. So, by the way, saying that, I don't give a damn about the samurai, he just wants to know about it, because, Olgren's not a goodie yet, he's still kind of with the bad guys. Anyway, so, by the way, he's been ordered to go in and, track down Katsumoto and, kill him, essentially. So that's what he's doing now with his soldiers that he's got with Bagley there. They're waiting. So, oh no, they're not. I'm lying. I'm getting ahead of myself. This is him. This is a flashback of him doing this massacre. I forgot what they call it now. So let me look. I've got it here somewhere. Where is it? It's in my notes. I think I've got it in my notes. I thought I did. I could have sworn I got it in my notes. I could have sworn I highlighted something and I've forgotten. Never mind. It was a massacre anyway that this fella did. Where is it now? Oh, for Pete's sake, never mind. Which was a real life massacre. I thought I'd highlighted it, but I can't find it. Where they there we go. People had nothing to do with the raids. Algan's telling Colonel Bagley and says, "Don't care. Go in, kill them all." So there you go. That's what he's thinking about. That's why he's disillusioned. Kind of a Soldier Blue situation, I suppose. Not that I've seen that. Well, I might have seen it once. Right, so back to the training ground. There we go. Training the soldiers to shoot. They're not very good. There you go. Showing them what to do. Then the bad guy arrives. They say his railroad is the most important thing, and I think the village that Katsumoto lives in, and other villages are in the way of the railroad, so they're basically going to burn them down. So that's what's going to happen in a bit. Right, so he's going to, Mr. Graham, tell this man to fire at me, because he wants to show how rubbish they are, because they won't do their job. He says, even if he doesn't, I'll kill him, and eventually he does shoot at him, but he misses and all that stuff, so it's all quite dramatic. There we go. So, anyway, right. There we are, burning a village that's in the way of the railroad. Apparently they built this village just for this film. Probably might cost $140 million. Built it, all lovely, with traditional techniques and stuff. It probably looked like a lovely Japanese village, and they just burnt it down. And there's then the producers and the studio thinking, why? Why have you done this? It says, because I want it to look real. There you go. So basically, commandeered this village, or whatever the phrase is, and moving everybody out, forced relocation to make way for the railroad, because they're bad guys. Anyway, so where they're talking, how do you intend to find him? And he says, he'll find us. So, right, so here they are. This is the bit I was on about. They're coming into the woods and the forest. And there's the general getting ready. They're going to line the men up because they can hear horses' hooves approaching. Right, so they're going to get ready and basically just mow them down. They think with their rifles, because we've learned that Katsumoto and his samurai don't have any firearms. They're just using swords and bows and arrows and spears, and that's about the limit of their weapons. Right. So anyway, here we go. So they're coming. Here we are. Cool shot of them coming through the mist. But then they're all ready, and one poor chap fires ahead of before being ordered. He panics and he fires at him. Is this him? Is it? No, not yet. One of them does anyway. As they come in, I mean, I'd be firing. There you go. Fire on my order only, but some plonker starts shooting, and then they all start shooting. There we go. Hold your fire, to the whites of your eyes and their eyes and all that stuff. But anyway, here they come. Basically, cavalry against them, innit? And they're shooting at them, but they're gonna get massacred. There they are. And I think Colonel Bagley basically runs away because he's there, isn't he? But he don't get killed, so he obviously retreats with the men. This is Billy Connolly about to get got. The name of this soldier, Hero somebody or other. Let me check. Just bear with me. Just bear with me. It's not bloody. It's not listed. Oh, bloody IMDb's crap, innit, sometimes. No, not even got a bloody thing on IMDb. And he's like, bloody central to the story. Why don't they have an IMDb? Unbelievable. I bet it's one of these names just listed as Samurai Ensemble. But it does have a name because we told it. Anyway, whatever. He's the brother-in-law of Katsumoto. Anyway, he's going to kill Billy Connolly now. There we go. That's the end of Billy Connolly. I don't know the name of his character. It's just Billy Connolly. There we go. Olgun gets knocked off his horse, so he's fighting for his life now. He's surrounded by samurai warriors, but he's holding his own. Yeah, like so. But, the numbers game are against him. But this is Katsumoto looking, remembering his white tiger dream, seeing this white warrior. There we go. They saw it then, didn't they? What is it? There we go. The white tiger flag. So is this his prophecy? Is his dream a prophecy? But anyway, obviously he's getting exhausted, and then this, I've forgotten his name. It begins with H. Does it have it on in IMDb? Just bear with me. Does it Eck? Does it blooming on me? No. Does it say it in the description? So I need to know. No, it doesn't say there either. All I want to do is find out this fella's name. He'll tell us in the subtitles, fingers crossed. Oops. In a minute. No, doesn't bloody say. Never mind. Just bear with me. We're live, I don't care. No, it doesn't say. Alright, never mind. Anyway, so here we go. Obviously, we think he's going to get killed by this warrior, this samurai in red. So, but obviously it doesn't quite go that way. There you go. He's about to kill Nathan, but Nathan picks up the shattered spear or whatever and thrusts it into the samurai's throat, killing him. And all the others are going to finish him off, but then Katsumoto says, "No, leave him," and they're going to take him back because he's injured, by the way. I think he's been stabbed in the side and all that stuff. So they're going to drag him away, take him back to the village. This is the general. Obviously, he's been defeated. Colonel Bagley's buggered off, hasn't he? Obviously, he's retreated. But here we're going to do his... because he's shamed, isn't he, now? So he's going to do the... is it seppuku? Whatever they call it. I don't know. They used to call it Harry Carry when I was a kid. But it's other names now, isn't it? But going to do that, and then here we go. He does that, and then he gets his head chopped off for good measure. Aye! There we go. So that's the end of him. Right, they're off to basically they're off to Middle Earth now. Yeah, because this is why is it always? Oh, this is all New Zealand. This is all New Zealand, is this? So they're taking the samurai to Isengard. So they're off to the Shire. I don't know if it's, 'cause it's in New Zealand, but I don't know if it's anywhere near where they filmed Lord of the Rings, but it could be for all we know. And the director, Edward Zwick, was saying in the commentary that, we're filmed in New Zealand. It doesn't really look a lot like Japanese countryside. So he's saying that probably a lot of Japanese people are a bit miffed about this. But it did really well in Japan, did this film. It made more money than any that year in Japan than any other American film. So there we go. Anyway, they're going to the village of Katsumoto. Here we go. People showing deference to them as they ride by. They're dragging off Olgren. And is prepared to meet death. See this fella, this super famous actor whose name I can't remember, is ready to chop off his head. Here he goes. He swings with his sword, and actually that nearly really happened to Tom Cruise in this film. Not in this scene. It might have been in the scene we've just seen where they were on a horse, or it might be at the end of the film where he was on a horse. I don't know which one, but apparently there was a scene where somebody swings at him with a sword, and they were on a animatronic horse. They were on an animatronic horse, and the horse was supposed to move him one way, probably away from the sword, but it didn't. It moved him towards it for some reason. And if the actor hadn't stopped his swing an inch from Tom Cruise's neck, because he had a real sword, but I don't think it was super sharp. But if it had hit him, it'd probably hurt him, or maybe just cut him or sliced his neck open. But it were close to copping for it. But anyway, so there we go. He's ready to meet his maker. There you go. Leave him be. They've got to, because of honour and all that, they've got to nurse him back to health. Much like in Stargate when Cameron Mitchell ended up with those Jafar warriors. I forgot what they call them now. Windgrace will know. Much like that. That's it. It's a trope, isn't it? It's a trope. Right, so they take him to the house of the man that he killed, whose name it'll probably say in a minute. But his family essentially, yes, the Sodan, yes, I knew he'd know. Yes, the Jafar. But they take him to the house of the man he killed, and their family are tasked to nurse him back to health, which a task which they're not really happy about. But anyway, it's their duty, because that's what this film's all about: honour and duty, and dignity, and friendship, and all that stuff. So here we meet. This is Taka, the wife of that fella. I can't find out his name. But there you go. She's sewing him up. Yeah, she's played by somebody with only one name. Koyuki as Taka Katsumoto, wife of a samurai slain by Nathan Algren, and younger sister of Moritsugu. Katsumoto. What was her husband's name? Why ain't it telling us? It begins with H. I wish I could remember. I'll say Hirotoshi, although it's not that. I'm just making things up. There she is, sewing him up. And he's asking for sake. Keeps asking for sake because remember he's a drunk. Katsumoto takes his bag of books. We learn that Katsumoto can speak English and read English. So he's obviously been well educated. He's not a savage. Colonel Bagley keeps calling them savages, because he thinks they're like, the American Indians, because he's, super racist. A man of his time. Anyway, they're in the temple. This is a fella, he's just called the Silent Samurai, but we never find out his real name, but Nathan calls him Bob, because he follows him around. He's tasked to basically watch over him. Right, so here he is. Keeps getting glimpses of life at the family life going on. Here we see that she's got 2 kids who are now fatherless. But they keep closing doors on him as though he's shutting him out of their lives, They don't trust him, obviously. I'm going to be saying something. Oh, there's... I can't remember his name. I can never pronounce it. Ojiu or something like that. How the hell do you pronounce it? What is it? Ujio, that's it. Ujio. They said he should kill himself. But anyway, the Americans, the Westerners don't have honour like they do. This is Katsumoto's son. They're saying he'll kill him, gladly do it. But obviously later on in the film, they're all going to become close friends. But anyway. Anywho, but Katsumoto wants to learn about him, wants to use him to learn about their new enemy. You know, the West wants to learn the Western ways and what they might do to him. So, and this is where he's asking for sake, and because he's a drunkard, and they give him some, and he's guzzling it down. But then he goes cold turkey. They obviously don't give him any more, and he goes cold turkey, and he's screaming for sake and all that stuff. So there's obviously a passage of time as he heals up and gets off the booze. As Katsumoto reads, there you go, his journals and his pictures of a Native American with some sort of measuring device. It looks like, doesn't it? A set square. I don't know. Anyway, there's having more of his flashbacks of the massacre he took part in, which he's ashamed of. You know. But anyway, there he goes saying, "Let him drink, Aunt," but she won't. She won't let him. No, she's. I say he's going cold turkey, he's getting off the booze, and he was thinking about that again. Screaming, sake! And all that stuff. Right, so, there you go. He comes round all of a sudden, and he's fit as a fiddle, right as rain. He's all healed up. There you go, Bob's following him around. He hasn't called him that yet, but there you go. He's free to just wander around and just look at things and all that jazz. Although, you know, he's a prisoner, so to speak, he can still go wherever he wants. You know, they won't stop him. They're all doing their training. While they're doing their... there's a name for it, I can't remember what it is. Firing arrows on horseback. Essentially, the samurai in this are kind of like, you know, speaking of Lord of the Rings, they're kind of like the elves from Lord of the Rings. You know, they're super disciplined, super good at whatever they turn, you know, put their minds to, and all that stuff. They're elves. Or Klingons. I thought Windgrace might have mentioned it by now, but they're a lot like Klingons as well, with their, you know, honour and duty and all that stuff, and having a good death. Anyway, who's this? Who's he watching? Oh, he's watching this fella. He's like, you know, the big man of the village, throwing people about. And then he goes walking into into Taka's house with his muddy boots on. That's a faux pas, isn't it? Because you take your shoes off, don't you, going into a Japanese house? But anyway, he goes in, and he gets hurried out. You know, get out of this house, and she's got to start cleaning up. There we go, they take him out. Is this where he's going to give him the name Bob? Is he going to call him? He does in a minute. Right, anyway, so he takes him here. They're in New Zealand there, I think. There we go. They're in New Zealand there. It's Bag End, isn't it? It's just like Bag End. It's got to be close to it, hasn't it? You'd think, where would it film? Let's have a look. If it says... Uruti Valley, Uruti Taranaki, Japanese village scenes. Right, so I'm going to look that up. See if that's... No, I don't think it just says The Last Samurai. No, right. Never mind then. I'm going to look it up. Just bear with me. We'll be here all bloody night at this rate, won't we? Bag End. Location. Right. Where was it filmed? Yes, I've seen that before. Yeah, Waikato, New Zealand. So I don't know if it's nearby where this other is. It looks similar, doesn't it? Very, very Lord of the Ringsy. Anyway, so they were in New Zealand there, but next up, there we go. We're in Japan at a shrine, a temple. I'll tell you where that is as well. Just bear with me. It's here somewhere. The Shoshazan Engyoji Temple. And it's also got a cemetery, which we also see in a bit. So that's this is actually Japan. But it's supposed to be, you know, part of the village complex of Katsumoto. There we go, there's Buddha. There he is. And they're going to have a conversation in English. There we go. I will practice my English with you. Apologies. just pretending. I don't mean any, dishonour. Right, so they're going to have a little chat about this. Says, why am I here? And, give a blah, blah, blah. And Olgren's saying they don't cut the heads of defeated, kneeling men, and talks about, his shame, because he lost, etc. And he asked him to help him end his life, because that's, life is kind of cheap, to be completely honest, in this, They'll kill themselves at the drop of a hat, or kill other people at the drop of a hat. But anyway. So, right, good. I've enjoyed this conversation, and he said, I've got questions, and this is where we learn the name of the man he killed. He's going to tell us. It's not going to land on the bloody subtitles, is it? There we go. Hirotaro. Yay! Hirotaro. How close were we, I guess, earlier on? Not very. This is where we learn that the man he killed was his brother-in-law, Hirotaro, and the woman who's caring for him is Taka, Hirotaro's wife, and obviously those two kids are his sons. Right. So, anyways, all right. So he's learned his lesson, by the way. Here we go. Hang on, there we go. Taking his boots off, going in with his stocking feet. He's got nice socks, hasn't he? For like somebody who don't give a monkeys about anything, and you'd think he'd have like holes in his socks. I just, for some reason, it struck me that he has nice, well kept socks. I'd have thought they'd stuck a hole in, had the toe poking through, but no. Anyway, kind of now he's being accepted into the household. He's going and having a meal with the family for the first time. This is Katsumoto's son. Don't know his name, can't remember. Does it tell us? Nobutade, played by Shin Koyamada, Katsumoto's only son. So there we go. And they become close. They become firm friends. A bit like in Dances with Wolves, when Kevin Costner's character, I've got his bloody name now, character name, when he becomes friends with wind in his hair. That's kind of like this, sort of. Anyway, so he's having dinner. Obviously, they're having rice because it's Japan. And Taka's saying he stinks horrible. He smells like the pigs. And but obviously he doesn't understand Japanese yet. There you go. So she's not happy for him to be there, but she's all smiles because they're two-faced. But there you go. But it's her duty. She's got to look after him, even though she doesn't want to. Yes, and one of the kids, there we go, does that. Apparently, it's supposed to show that the kid, even though he can't scream at him, he's like doing a silent scream at him. He's like showing his rage towards him for some reason. But anyway. Right, the kids go out to play with their wooden swords. Off they go. Look, wee, going to play with our wooden swords in the teams of rain. There you go, watching them. And then he's going to practice with them. There we go. But then he comes. Ugio arrives. One of my friends, Marie, was probably not watching. Maybe she is, I don't know. But she sent me a picture. He's in something, and I don't know what. Maybe he's in Shogun, I don't know. But he sent me his picture saying, "Ooh, this is my favourite actor." And I'm sure it's him. Let me check. Ugio, where the heck are you? I've lost him. Hiroyuki Sanada. Hey dear. Who's a protege of actor Sonny Chiba? That's the fella. I was thinking earlier on. I've got I don't know where I've put it. I've got the DVD of the film G.I. Samurai. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's about a modern Japanese army unit that travels back in time to feudal Japan. It stars Sonny Chiba. But anyway, I was trying to remember his name and I couldn't remember it. Right, where were we? He's in John Wick. Yes, that's where I've seen him from. Yes, he's in Shogun. I think that's what she was. She was showing me because Marie's into Shogun at the minute. But anyway. Right, where were we? So he's going to show him how to use the whatever they call these training swords. There we go. Keeps hitting him, knocking him down, but he won't give up. He gets knocked down, but I get up again, and all that stuff. There you go. Ends up flat on his back with a bloody nose. There we go. But he keeps getting up. But there you go. He won't stop, and then eventually he's had enough. He's just walking away. Right. Yeah. This is where he calls him Bob. His job to follow him around. There you go. I call you Bob. I knew a Bob once. God, he was ugly as a mule. Right, he's going to see Katsumoto. There you go. He's saying, Ujio is teaching you the way of the Japanese sword. Yes, indeed. So it's all aching, look, because he's just been leathered. Anyway. So he keeps asking him, why am I here and all that? And he shouts at him in a minute. Why? But before that, how is it before that? No, he's asking him about his previous commander. And we learned that he fought under Custer, Lieutenant Colonel Custer, of Custer's Last Stand fame, and this way telling him all about it. And he says, he was a great general. He killed many Indians. And he says, no, he was a fool. There you go. He was arrogant and foolhardy. And there you go. 2,000 angry Indians killed his wiped out massacred his unit of 211 men or whatever it was. And so he says, he had a good death and all that stuff. So he was a good general. He says, no, he wasn't. Anyway. So, while we have these conversations, this way he shouts, what the hell am I doing here? Then Bob comes running in, ready to chop his head off. He says, no, aye. And then we learn that he's just there until because it must be the end. It must be autumn and going into winter. And he says that the passes will unfreeze in spring, and then he'll be able to leave. But until then, he's stuck there with them. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what he's told him. So anyway, there you go. Now he's known. Star date unknown. Month unknown. I'm sure that is in Star Trek. One episode, I'm sure it is. Right, so he's seen them making swords. This chap that we see a few times in this film, this swordsmith, is actually a real swordsmith. I don't know if he made the swords for the film. He probably did, didn't he? But it shows him doing it in the traditional manner. And he's talking about, there we go, continues to live among these unusual people. And learn, says that he's never seen anybody with such discipline and, the throw themselves into everything there, that takes a fancy to them. And we see this kid, whose name I can't remember. I'm going to show it. He's doing a calligraphy thing, where he's spelling out. Oh, for God's sake, it is there somewhere. It's just not landing on it for some God knows reason. Just bear with me. Not going to show it, is it? It might be later. Anyway, there he's having a bath. Oh, it's a hot spring that they basically just made for this film. It's not a real one. He's watching them again, training in the ways of Bushido and all that stuff. There we go. That's what bit I was thinking of. This is the kid. What's he called? I'm gonna have to look. Can't remember. I think it begins with M. I think I could be wrong. I don't know. Is it him? Is it Magajira? Hang on, let me look. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, whatever. He's writing out samurai, the word samurai, on a thing for him. And he's doing one of his drawings by the looks of it. And he's going to keep that. It's going to be a gift to him. All right, but then he's showing him the good old magic trick of the I can never do it. Doing that, the thumb thing, whatever. Doing that. The kid's amazed because they're easily pleased. These kids, aren't they? Anyway. See, well, intriguing people devote themselves to the perfection of whatever they pursue. As I said, they're elves. They're the elves of Japan. There we go. There's Nobutada practicing his bow because he's Legolas. There you go. I've never seen such discipline. And when he said that, I was thinking, not much discipline's gone into that bloody fence, though, has it? But anyway. And there goes. Surprised to learn that samurai means to serve. And then you show him training again. So now he's going to start learning how to sword fight the Japanese way. Here we go. And obviously it's going to get better as we kind of have it's kind of a montage, I suppose. Right. There he sees the armour of the man he killed, whose name I've forgotten already. Hirotaro, something like that, wasn't it? Oh, and we see that they've left him a little box of clothes out, so he's going to get dressed. There we go. It shows it. Hang on, let's go back. Go back. There we go. A little box of a basket of clothes, Japanese clothes. I'm sure they've got a name. Anyway, so they puts them on and then starts pretending to be Japanese. Look. There we go. Giving it all that, and then the kid, whatever his name is, sees him, and it is embarrassed, but it's fine. I think they bow to each other. There we go. Right, out training again, and he's not doing very well at the beginning, but he gets better. Oh, aye, and then Nobutada comes up and tells him, too many minds, because he can speak a bit of English as well, by the way. Says too many minds. He says, what are you talking about? Basically telling him you're thinking about too many things. You're thinking about the people watching and the sword and your enemy and all these other things. So, basically trying to focus. He's telling him to focus and use the force, basically. But he still loses. But but there you go. He grabs hold of the fella, starts wrestling with him, and then gets him in an angle lock. And then he taps out. Was that a thing back then? Has tapping out always been a thing in wrestling? Even back in Greco-Roman wrestling or whatever it was. Was tapping out a thing? I don't know. Maybe it was. Anyway, we see that he's learning Japanese now because he speaks Japanese, and he says, "Thank you, more rice" in Japanese. They're all amazed that he's picking it up because he's like Davidge in Enemy Mine. He started picking up words of Drac, didn't he? But anyway, so he starts learning, what do they call these chopsticks? What do they call them? And the kid's saying, these are called Japanese ears and all that stuff. Tells him what his top knot's got, pointing out his top knot. That's for later in the film, that Nobutada's got a top knot. I mean, all the samurai have this top knot. Tells him what that's called. So they're all, all smiling, and then he's asking the names. Oh, yes, I'll find out that kid's name now. Higgin, there we go. Don't begin with M at all. It's not even got M in it. Anyway, it's called Higgin. What's the young'un called? I've forgotten. He's Magajiro, the young'un with the Lego hairdo. And he's Higgin, or Higgin. I think it's just Higgin. And he's Nobutada, and she's Taka. Then she goes to her brother to, I forgot his name, Katamotsu. Why have I forgotten his name? I've bloody been saying it all the way through the cowing film. This happens, you see, when you get old. Katsumoto. Jesus Christ. There you go. She wants him to leave. She can't stand it, and she says, I want permission to end my life. There you go. Has permission to end my life. She can't stand it. Because I think she's scared that she might end up having feelings for him. Which she does, obviously. And say, no, you do as you're told. You will do as I command in this village because you're just a woman. But they've lived like this for, like I say, thousands of years, haven't they, the Japanese? It's their way. Who are us Westerners to come along and tell them how to live? But anyway, it's just a different way of life, isn't it? Everybody, is subservient to the Lord, especially the women. But anyway, he comes in and says to Katsumoto that she's taking good care of him and all that, and Katsumoto lies and says she's honoured to be looking after you or whatever. What does he say? There you go. She's honoured to have my guest in her house, which obviously she's not. But then we see him doing some more training in a beautiful red sunset, which is real. This isn't a fake scene or what do you call it? A fake backdrop, blue screen or whatever. But actually, they went out at that time in New Zealand. Lovely night, lovely evening sky. I thought, right, we'll film this. Get your sword out, start swinging it about. Right, then we cut to. This is there's actually two here. Where are we? Actually, that's New Zealand. Then we cut to this is Japan in that shrine with the cemetery. Fake snow. Don't know what they made it of. And then it cuts to New Zealand with fake snow. But right, so pardon me. He's got a big head, hasn't he? Is that real? He's an alien, isn't he? He's got a what they call them, big elongated skull. Anyway, there we go. They're watching him practicing again. Hang on, I've missed it. There we go. He's practicing again, and then this fella says he's getting better. Oh no, Nobutada says he's getting better, isn't he? And then this one who's always got a straw in his mouth. I don't know his name. The one that's always throwing people about. He says nobody's still ugly. Then we see he's becoming accepted now in the village, isn't he? And then he's carrying firewood up with young Higgin. And then he puts an extra one on Higgins' pile, and then it cuts away. Hang on, it cuts away just as this bit of wood here is about to fall off. I thought, why didn't they show it falling off? Because they didn't want to show Tom Cruise panicking. Because I bet he went and dropped them all. But anyway, if you watch, it will go in, won't it? Anyway, right then he's in with the kids, still learning his Japanese. Learning what cold is in Japanese and fire and all that stuff. And she's looking and she's seeing, he's learning Japanese and he's becoming one of us. And obviously she's starting to have feelings for him, etc. Right, so. There he goes. He's helping her with the house. Japanese men do not help with this. And he says, I am no Japanese man. Stabs her in the face. No, he doesn't. That's something else. That's Lord of the Rings. Says, but just say that. He just I am not Japanese. And so he helps her. There you go. Then what's happening here? This is where, he's apologising for, basically taking her husband from him. And there we go. It's a nice shot of her in the light. And there you go. There we go. Sorry for taking the husband. And she says he did his duty and all that stuff. Or you did your duty, etc. He did his duty and you did yours. That's what I'm trying to say. It's obviously filling up. I probably will be as we get towards the end of this film. I'll be making light of things as I'm inside. I'm crying, but anyway. So there we go. So hang on, what happens now? Then the little one comes running in to spoil the moment, as kids generally do, and then we cut to a fake icicle, apparently, but whatever. And obviously, then the snows have gone. There we go. Spring has sprung. Then he's saying he's not a church-going man, but there is something about this place. He's falling in love with it, isn't he? And he's talking about how he's having the best night's sleep and all that stuff. But apparently still having nightmares. We learn. But anyway, there you go. There's something spiritual in this place. In Bag End. I can't stop calling it that. It is. Anyway. Right, so, but there we go. We're seeing that in this montage that he's falling in love with this Japanese place, much like Kevin Costner fell in love with the Sioux village and the people of it, etc. Then he's showing them how to play baseball because, Americans. But apparently, they were playing baseball in Japan at that time, in 1877. So there you go. According to Edward Zwick, there were, anyway, but anyway. I wouldn't know, I wasn't there, I'm not that old. But Oh, there she's watching and watching them all having fun. There we go. They're all having fun, and the kids. And then she's, hang on, we haven't got there yet. But as you see, she's watching, and then she does a little thing with her hair. Look, oh look, I'm in love with him because they do that. Oh. Then he's doing more training with Ugio. I can never remember it. With Ugio. There we go. He's saying Ugio will win in 3 moves, and he says 5 moves. So we're going to see 3 moves. Are you ready? Ugio's going to win. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't bloody know. Is it Ugio's 3 moves? I don't know. But anyway, the 3 move fella won apparently. Let's count them again. Right. Let's count them again. So that's. I suppose we've got to see him strike, haven't we? He's defending at the moment, isn't he? I want to see. Right, here we go. 1. 2. 3. Yeah, well, 3, wasn't it? There you go. He won in 3. Right, so that fella wants paying up. So they're going to go again. And he says this time he's going to win in 5. And the other fella says 6. And then Ugio wins in 5. We won't count him this time. Just take my word for it. He wins in 5. So they're going to go again. So now he's going to use the force. They should have played the. Should have used that because he's summoning the force. Or whatever. No mind. Remember, no mind. That's what he's doing. Stretch out with your feelings and all that. So now he's seeing in his mind what's going to happen. Because he's using the force. Then off they go. Right. Oh, no, I haven't started yet. Anyway, so off they go and the start. And it ends in a draw. Well, a draw, as we see. Hang on, there we go. Both together there. It's ended in a draw. Because he's got that good. So, right, so they bow to each other. And it's all cool. And then everybody's happy. And now it goes to night. And they're having a play. And they're all laughing because it's all funny. And I bet he's thinking, I have no idea what's happening, but I'm going to laugh. Because I'm Tom Cruise. And who can resist Tom Cruise's smile, eh? Right, so they're all having fun and games. And but then, we see there's lookouts looking out. But then, here we go. Bad guys arrive. Ninjas. Ninjas arrive. And Edward Wick was saying, it's pretty unsure. I don't know. I don't sod all about Japan. He says it's never been. Some people say that ninjas did go around assassinating people, and some people will say no, they didn't. So who knows? I don't know. But anyway, ninjas have arrived to kill Katsumoto. I forgot his name already. Why can't I remember it? Ken Watanabe. They've arrived to kill Ken Watanabe. But they're all having fun. But see, they're up on the roof, look, because the ninjas. Then Taka and Nathan exchange a glance. There we go. But then he looks up. There we go. He looks up and sees that fella. He's seen him. So obviously he's the only one that's seen him. But then he sees him with a crossbow, and he shouts Katsumoto, and ding, gets the poor fella in the mask. So right, so everybody screams, all saying, "Protect the Lord!" The Lord, him, Katsumoto. So anyway, Nathan gets the Taka and the kids to safety. Obviously, he's not very safe because he's just being killed by the looks of it. But they're going to be fighting ninjas now in a very exciting scene, I must admit. So they're fighting the ninjas. Here we go. She does her bit. Look, she takes this fella out. There we go, stabs him. But anyway, fighting continues. But then this kid... Oh, hang on, I missed a bit, by the way. Where is it? One of them, he picks up Nathan... There we go, picks up a chair, stool, whatever it is, a table, whatever it is. And the sword gets stuck in it. It swings the sword and it gets stuck in it. And there we go, drops the table. But here we go. He grabs hold of Nathan, does the ninja, and he's pressing him down onto the sword that's stuck in the table, look. Anyway, but then Higgin rushes into the room with his father's armour and picks up his father's sword. And he's going to fight the... hang on. Here we go. He's going to fight the ninja. Here he goes. There we go. He's going to fight the ninja. Ah! And obviously, he's not strong enough. He's only a kid after all. So Nathan manages to get his little knife in his hand and stabs him in the face, the one that's holding him down, and then gets the other fella. There we go. So that's that dealt with. And the polish off the rest of the ninjas. There we go. All that's going on. Right. So who sent the ninjas? And obviously it's not the Emperor, because he asks, does Nathan? By the way, he's Katsumoto's looking at the blossom and he's saying, there we go. You could spend your life looking for a perfect blossom, and it would not be a wasted life. And at the end of the film, I'm going to fill up. Never mind, we'll get there. Right, who sent those men to kill you? He asks, and he says, was it the Emperor? And he says, if he wants me dead, the Emperor only has to ask, because he would. If the Emperor said, kill yourself, he would, because he's in service of the Emperor. That's why he's doing this. So it was what's his face, thingamabob. I forgot his name. We'll get to it. You see that he's a poet and he's writing a poem about that dream with the white tiger, and he can't think of a last line. But there we go, Amura. So Amura sent the ninjas. There we go. Can you suggest the last line? He says, I'm not a writer. I don't know if he gets the last line. Can't remember. Maybe he does. Anyway, so he says, I'm not a writer, and he says, but you write, you're always writing in your journals and all that. And he says, what else has she told you? And that's where he says, you have nightmares. And he says, every soldier has nightmares. And he says, well, only soldiers that are ashamed of what they've done. He says, you have no idea what I have done, in that voice. Anyway, so it's where we learn that they've been summoned, or they've been allowed safe passage to Tokyo. By the way, I think it had only been called Tokyo for about, I think the year before, maybe. It used to be called Edo, didn't it, Tokyo? And then in the late 1870s, I'm sure it was, they changed it to Tokyo. But anyway. Right, so what's he saying? They're talking about Bushido, the way of the warrior. Not the Klingon way of the warrior. Or maybe it is. There we go. They've been allowed safe passage to Tokyo so we can go see the Emperor and all that. We leave tomorrow. He says, oh, good. And then he gives him, there we go, another bit where I'm filling up. There we go. This little fella comes, gives him that. And he says, when you arrived, you were my enemy. There you go. When I took these, you were my enemy. And then he kind of, there we go, the way he turns there, I thought, is it emotional for him? Because he turns and, hang on, there we go. You were my enemy. Then he turns really quickly, look, got to go before we get all mannish and start, bro hugging. Anyway, right, so he's stumbled across Taka having a wash in a waterfall. Don't they have plumbing? Obviously not. So he's saying he's leaving and all that stuff. So she says yes and says, you've been very kind to me, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, there's chemistry between them. Maybe not on screen, but in the story. And but obviously it's unrequited. They can't show it, it's all very... there isn't a sex scene, that's what I'm trying to say in this film. Although they do kiss later on, but just once. Right. This is Higgin giving him the thing he did, the word samurai, which we learn means to serve, not warrior. Right, so off they go. They're off to Japan, look, on their horses. And here we go. They've arrived in Japan with all the telegraph cables, look, spoiling the Tokyo skyline. Here we see... I forgot his name already. Simon Graham, Timothy Spall, taking photos of some nice Japanese ladies. Are they geishas? I have no idea. Right, so here we go. Remember, this is the New York street that they've just made look like Japan on the Burbank Studios back lot. Anyway, they all start panicking. You know, there's women screaming and people going samurai because they're arriving on horseback. There you go. Here they are. Look, they're arriving on horseback. By the way, there was a scene earlier on. I don't know if it's in this part of the story, if it was in the beginning. I don't know. But there was a scene with Ujio beheading a man in a bowler hat. Two men approach him. Because at this time, by the way, which I haven't mentioned, samurai were not allowed to have their swords on them, you know, in Tokyo. And Ujio were walking about with his swords. And I think maybe they're not supposed to show the top knot and all that stuff. I don't know, but anyway. And these two fellas approach him in bowler hats, and they're making fun of him, and then one of them basically taps him with his walking stick, and he just chops his head off. And for some reason, they cut it out of the film, and I don't know why, but it's in the deleted scenes. Anyway, right. There's Amura looking all evil, because he's a Bond villain, as we'll see in a bit. Right, so essentially this is the parting of... I forgot his name already. Ken Watanabe. What the hell's his name? Oh, why can't I bloody remember it? Katsumoto. Bloody hell. Let me put it here. I'm putting it in the chat so I can see it in the chat. And it's always there. Right, Katsumoto. Put it there in the chat so I can just glance at the chat. Because I don't have a chat that's like bloody Friday Night Tights. That's just like 13,000 people watching and all in the chat. Anyway. And it's scrolling like a bloody one-armed bandit. Right, so... here we go. Right, they're giving him his... is that his holster and stuff? Is that his... Yeah, that's his own weapons back. They're giving him them... Yes, it's a pistol, isn't it? Giving him that back, because basically they're saying goodbye to him now. You know, they're setting him free. He's free. They've nursed him back to health and all that stuff. Setting him free. There we go. They exchange a glance and all that stuff. And off he goes. Right. Then Nathan goes to check on what's been going on with Bagley and all that. We see that they've got howitzers and Gatling guns. Then we see the army being trained. I think this is in New Zealand. I could be wrong. I think it's a rugby club or something like that in New Zealand. I could be wrong. I don't know. Anyway, there we go. They've got Gatling guns as well. Bagley says, "My God, Algren, you're alive." And then there's on about Algren says, "I need a bath." He says, "Well, I don't know why he said that. Maybe it's because of his long journey on a horse, but he thinks, there we go, he says, "I need a bath," and then he says, "After living with those savages, I can only imagine." But remember, you know, they thought he stunk, didn't they? But anyway. Right, so here we are in, this is in, I think Yokohama, I can't remember, I might be wrong. This is in Japan, anyway. Some nice gardens. This is... Katsumoto, yes, with the Emperor walking really weirdly down this. There we go, down this this passage. What's he walking like that for? I don't know. But anyway, so Katsumoto's basically saying, you know, "I'm not your enemy. You know, I'm not going against you. I'm fighting against your enemies." And then he's saying, you know, your enemies are his advisors. You know, like Amura and all them. And then Katsumoto says they advise in their own. They're just out for it for themselves, not for what's best for Japan or what they think's what's best for Japan. Also makes them lots of money. But anyway, but the Emperor's saying. By the way, it's I don't know how to pronounce it. Meiji. I don't know how to pronounce it. That's his name. He's saying, you know, he needs Katsumoto in the council, his voice, but you know, they won't allow him. And then he says, "You are a living god. Do what you think is right." And he says, "I'm only a living god until they allow me. You know, if I do what they want me to do." Anyway, And then he says, tell me what to do. And he says, no, you must find the wisdom for all of us. You're the emperor. You've got to know what to do. And he prostrated himself. Meanwhile, Olgren and here we go, Wilson. I forgot to put his name now. From Walking Dead and other things. Wilson. Where are you? I can never bloody remember names. I'm hopeless. Wilson, where are you? Scott Wilson. I would say Sam Wilson, but that's plumbing thingamabob, isn't it? Falcon, isn't it? Scott Wilson. That's it. Who we may know from The Walking Dead and other things. He's playing the ambassador, the American ambassador. They've gone to see a Moora. Here we are. And they're giving him the treaty to sign. Apparently it's an arms treaty. The America's going to give him loads of arms, weapons and stuff like that. He says, right, well, we'll deal with that later. They want to know what Olgren knows about Katsumoto, and how many samurai are on his side. And he says, I don't know. And he says, what weapons have they got, or what firearms have they got? And then he says, as you said, they've got bows and arrows. Anyway, so there you go. And then he asked to see, to speak with Olgren privately. Offers him a drink, and he declines. There you go. Offer you whiskey? No, thank you. And then he's offering him, more money to carry on training the army. But he kind of declines that, so to speak. We appreciate the offer. It's not an offer, but anyway. So off he goes. All right, there he does. He turns into a Bond villain. Follow him if he goes anywhere near Katsumoto. Kill him. Bond villain. Right. There we go. Then Simon Green is talking to Olgren. All right, this is where we see that there's a kerfuffle in the. Maybe this is why they took out the beheading bit, because we've got a thing here that's a similar scene where some soldiers are picking on Nobutada, and because he's got his swords with him and he shouldn't have, and then they're going to cut off his top knot. And there you go, they're all aiming the weapons at him. But Olgren goes in, they tell him to lower the weapons. So I'm Captain Olgren, but they don't care. They eat him. There you go. And Nobutada's, gets his sword, don't draw it up fully, but he's ready with his sword, and he's like he's telling him, no, don't do it, and basically just lets him cut his top knot off. Because they'd kill him, wouldn't they, if he attacked him, they'd just shoot him down. So anyway, they go, I'll take you home. And he never, we see him, his hair's like that for the rest of the film that he's in. Right, so off they go. Right, anyway, this is the council meeting. The Emperor's there somewhere in the background. But this is basically the cabinet, I suppose you could say. They called it a council meeting, but it's like the government cabinet. There's the Emperor there in the background, but he's not allowed to speak, apparently. He's just there. And Katsumoto comes in. Here he is with his swords, not supposed to be wearing them, and he tells him that you're not supposed to, it's the law. And he says, we are a country of laws. Anyway, but then he offers his sword. There we go. He gets out this ceremonial sword. He offers it to the Emperor. But he doesn't say anything. He just looks sheepish. There we go. The Emperor's voice is too pure to be heard in this council. So he says, then I shall not lay down my sword. So he says, okay, we'll take you. My soldiers will take you back to your house in Tokyo. There you will await our summons, basically. Await your punishment. So, see, the Emperor is just a puppet emperor, I suppose, because he's young, isn't he? Anyway, Olgren's packing up, getting ready to go. He's unloading his pistol and putting it all away. I think he pours himself a drink there. Does he drink it? I don't know if he drinks it or not. I didn't notice. Is he going to? Yes, he does. I thought he'd stopped drinking. He's supposed to be on the wagon now, wasn't he? But anyway, he drinks that one. Maybe it's cough syrup. Anyway. So he's going, and he's saying, well, you should stay, could use a good man like you or whatever. But he won't. He's going. Oh, and then he picks up the samurai thing that Higgin did for him. He's just looking at it, and then says, "Just tell me one thing. Why do you hate your countrymen? There we go. Hate your own people so much." But he don't answer. Meanwhile, at Katsumoto's residence, this fella who's the henchman of Amura with this. Is it a strawberry birthmark? Is that what they call them? I don't know. It's the birthmark. We think he's going to kill. There we go. We think he's going to kill Katsumoto, but he doesn't. He says, "Save us the trouble," and puts the knife down in front of him. There we go, and leaves. And this is when, I don't know. Maybe he's using the force again and seeing what's happening. I don't know, but he's decided he's gonna go and help Katsumoto. So off he goes, running through the streets of Tokyo with a tail. We'll see him in a minute. Somebody's following him, as we see. Oh, for God's sake. We'll do it in a minute. There we go. There we go. People are following now. He's surrounded now. And then he goes for his gun. And then he remembers, oh, he ain't got his gun. It's in his suitcase. So now he's going to use the force again. There we go. Then he takes them all out in toot sweet, so to speak. There we go. Killed them all. There we go. Well, he ain't killed them all. He's killed most of them. And he's there we go. He's there with the swords out, going, "Hey, what have I just done?" And then for some reason he's going to play it back in his mind. I don't know why. He just does. There we go. He's playing it back in his mind what he's just done. But while he's doing that, there we go. Strawberry birthmark guy gets up behind him, and he's about to kill him, but he knows he's there because he's got the force, and he turns around and gets him, and then he says, "The samurai are done," or "Their time is over," or whatever. There you go. Samurai are finished. And then he just chops his head off. Like this. There we go. Head chopped off. So there we go. Right, so here we go. Olgren and Steed Bonnet, I'm going to keep calling him that, have arrived at Katsumoto's house, being guarded by soldiers. They go, "Don't come any closer." And Simon Graham says, "I'm here at the order of Mr. Amura. We've to come to take photographs of the traitor Katsumoto." There you go. "Bring that equipment now." He says, "No, you can't come in." He says, "Do you know who this is?" Pointing to Olgren. "This is the President of the United States of America. Come to help our soldiers," and all that stuff. So let us in. So he goes, "All right then." And there you go. And he says, "President of the United States." He says, "I think I'm going to be sick." Right, so here we go. It still says, "Have you finished your poem?" There it says, "The end is proving difficult." So I'm going to convince him to escape. So how are we going to do that? And then we see that Ujio's outside, just taking care of a guard out there. Hang on, where is it? There we go. Taking care of a guard out there. Looking cool. Hands out swords. Even Simon Graham had a sword in his a katana, sorry, in his camera bag, whatever. Right, so there we go. Takes out that fella. But loads of soldiers are going to come now, shooting guns and stuff. But luckily, here we go. The rest of the elves are arriving now. Here comes Legolas and the woodland elves with their bows and arrows, taking them out in no time. There we go. Doing, there we go. Never miss. They never miss. They don't. Honestly, they never miss. But the numbers game is against them. Not enough harpoons. No, not enough harpoons. I think me going to members only on the chat, which we're not doing this week, by the way, on this one. It's not members only. I think you have to subscribe, but we're not a members only chat tonight. I think it's put off Josh Temple, hasn't it? Unfortunately, unless he's busy, he could be busy, couldn't he? Anyway, which is sad. Right. So anyway, so that's it. They're carrying on, and They get out. But poor Nobutada gets shot. Here we see him in the background fall. There we see him running over the bridge. There we go. He's being shot. Remember, he's Katsumoto's only son, and he's realised he's being shot. And obviously the bullets are pinging everywhere. But Tom Cruise goes back. There, Bob, he gets somebody. Swing, see, they never miss. Never miss. And he grabs hold of Nobutada, and obviously they get out, but he's mortally wounded. There we go. Coughing up blood, and he says, I'll stay here. It is my time. And they're all, duty and honour and all that stuff. Let me stay. So he's going to buy them time, essentially, to get away. They're still firing arrows. Look, don't miss. Never miss. There we go. It's all very sad. Look. But more soldiers are coming. Where are they all coming from? I don't know. But there you go. So he's buying them time, taking them out with his bow and arrow as they run off. There he goes. And they're shooting him even more. Here we go. And he's run out of arrows. Now he's got his swords. Yeah, go charging in. And that's the end of Nobutada. It is very sad. Let's make sure we're still going, because I'm doing a lot of clips, aren't I? Yeah, we're still alright. We're still alright for now. Anyway. I nearly said anywho then, didn't I? Oh dear. Right. Passage of time. They're headed back to the village. Here we go. Din. But they're camping out because it must be a couple of days ride or whatever, and then they're talking about his army's going to come. They go for 900 years. My ancestors have protected. Blah 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 blah. Oh, he's saying he should kill himself because he's failed them, but saying no, they shouldn't do that. The way of samurai is not necessary anymore. Anyway, so they head back to the village. And we learned that big battle's coming. That's okay, he said at least 6. I know, I can't help myself. Can't help myself. Are you going to fight the white? Says yes, if they come, and says, what does he say? Hang on. What does he say? It says something along the lines of, I will fight them because they have come. If they come, they've come to destroy what I love, or whatever, something like that. Does it say? If they come here, yes. What is it? There you go. Because they've come to destroy what I have come to love. And little Haggin, whatever the hell he's called, Higgin, goes running out, and she's saying he's upset because of his father. There we go. He misses his father. And Olgren thinks that he blames Olgren for his father not being there anymore. And she says no, he's afraid that Olgren's going to get killed. So he goes out to speak to him. And we have a nice little chat, which is a cool little chat. There you go, my father taught me it is glorious to die in battle, like Klingons. And he says, yes, that what he believed that. And then the kid Higgins says, I'd be afraid. I'd be afraid to die in battle. And Olgren says, so would I. He says, but you've been in many battles. He says, yes, and I was afraid every time. I was always afraid. So he says, I don't want you to go. Anyway, then somebody calls to him and says, Olgren, they are coming. So anyway, so he gives him a big hug, and I'm sat crying my eyes out because I'm a big soft pub. So there we go. So he's kind of become his surrogate dad now, hasn't he? Right, so here we go. They're up on a mountain top, presumably in New Zealand. Tom should be Alexander's father. Well, Worf didn't do a very good job, did he? Anyway, there we go. We learn that. It says how many men? There we go. 2 full regiments. Here we go. All the Imperial army's arriving now. 2 full regiments. I think it said 2,000 men or something like that. There we go. They're coming waves of 1,000. There we go. And they've got the howitzers as well. And we learn they've got the Gatling guns and all. But it talks about the Battle of Thermopylae, whatever. The 300 battle. 300 brave Greeks Spartans, get it right. I know it was part of Greece, but held off a Persian army, blah, blah. Tells me about that. Don't mention Gerard Butler, but never mind. But he mentions that. They're going to have to fight like that. Basically, they've just got to slow them down or make them fight for every last centimetre of land or whatever. And there you go. This will be the last entry in this journal. And he's saying, he's watching them get ready for battle and all that stuff. A bit of a montage. There we go. We see him pouring pitch onto these big round things, which I didn't think they used well, as we'll see. Sesame Xerxes. No, you may not get that. No, I don't. I know Xerxes is, but not the sesame bit. Anyway, they're putting this pitch on these. Obviously, they're going to set these alight out there in the battle, but they don't do what I thought they might do with them because the balls out there. And I thought they might have rolled them down the hill at them. I hadn't seen it. I hadn't seen South Park 300 spoof. I thought they might have rolled them down the hill, much like in Spartacus when they had them flaming round bales of hay thing that they rolled down the hill, didn't they? I thought they were going to do something like that, but they don't. But anyway, never mind. Right, so anyway, the montage of them getting ready. We see the actual real-life swordsmith making a sword. He's making the sword that is going to become both Katsumoto's sword and also Olgren's sword. So, we see him getting ready, training and stuff and all that. Last minute practicing. We see Katsumoto giving Higan his prayer beads to look after while he's in battle, praying before Buddha. Got eyeliner on. Right, so anyway, they're all getting ready. But right, the next morning or whatever, Taka calls to... Oh, no, I'm lying. He's going through the houses the night before, and he sees Taka about to get ready for bed. Yes. Gonna need a montage. She's getting ready for bed, and there's like a lingering stare, but then she closes the door. As I said, not ready for Rumpy Pumpy yet. Right, sun up. The sun rises. There's Bob waiting patiently. It's probably been standing there all night, knowing Bob. But there's... hang on, where were we? Oh, for God's sake. Where are we? There we go. Katsumoto praying. I think it is, anyway. Looks like him. Olgren's just asleep. A bed... Are all beds like that in Japan? Just a straw mat on the floor. A futon. Is that what they call them? Anyway... There you go. She says to him, Algren-san, will you come here with me? So she goes in. She says, would be honoured if you wore the armour of her dead husband, basically. So she's going to dress him now, Japanese style, get him ready in his armour and stuff. There we go. She's doing all that very deliberately. And then the kiss. The only kiss we see him do, but it's just to show that they're in love. And there you go. She's getting him ready. They're all those donning their armour. The swordsmith presents Katsumoto with the sword. Then out he comes in the armour, and Ujio gives it a quick inspection and gives it his seal of approval. Aye. So off he goes, and they're actually filling up with that as well. Don't know why. It's a man thing, isn't it? It's a man thing. Because he's been accepted now. He's now part of the tribe. Anyway, Katsumoto gives him the sword, says, you will need this. And he sees the writing on it. And he says, what does it mean? And I've forgotten, so I'll just have to look up the subtitles. What does it say? There we go. I belong to the warrior in whom the old ways have joined the new. So there we go. Because he's the white tiger or whatever, but he never calls him that. Something they call the film that, innit? Like Dances with Wolves, the white tiger. But anyway, off they go, riding into battle. They're all bowing as they go. Look, off they go. And I haven't even mentioned the water margin once, have I? Every time I watch it when they're on horses and stuff in all the armour and stuff, I just think of the water margins. Because I used to love that as a kid. I haven't seen it for years. It might be rubbish now, I don't know. But when I was a kid, I used to love watching the water margins. White Tiger is a Power Ranger. I'm not surprised. Anyway. Right, so off they go. Here we go. Getting ready to go into battle. All lining up patiently. Hang on. Oh, never mind. I thought I saw a palm tree up on the hill. Right. Oh, see, I can't get to the same bit. I'm sure I saw a palm. There. That blooming palm tree. Is there palm trees in Japan? Or New Zealand, for that matter? Well, there is there, isn't there? But anyway. They're all lining up. So, hang on. It's also a Marvel hero. So that's why they didn't call him White Tiger. Right, so they're getting ready. They ride out. So they say, surrender and you won't be harmed, and all that stuff. It says, well, it's not going to happen, so let's go back. Right. And he says, Olgren, we will give you no quarter. He says, I will find you on the field, sir. So off they go back to their armies. By the way, they've got 500 samurai against, 2,000 or whatever of the Japanese Imperial Army. So they're outnumbered. Here's Steed Bonnet. I know it's not him. I'm just going to keep calling him that. There you go. He gives him his journals. He's perhaps going to use these for your book. He must be writing a book. He probably mentioned it earlier, but I forgot. So he says, yes. And so off he goes. He basically watches the entire battle from a nearby hill. It must be like this safe zone that nobody's allowed to go to during the fight. But anyway, there he goes, look. Right, so they're here with the little guitars. I don't know, they'll have a name, won't they? But I just keep thinking of Jeff Jarrett in wrestling. He's going to smash him over with a guitar. But anyway, right, here we go. They have a little fun. It says they're not going to surrender, and they all laugh. There we go. So they've got to get ready now for battle. There they are. They're looking through their binoculars. There we go. Bayonets, fix bayonets. Not one of them dropped his bayonet like in Zulu. You slovenly soldier. But anyway, none of them did that. So they're all getting ready, look. Battles are brewing. And this is based, by the way, this last bit, did I mention? It's based on, I've forgotten, let me check. The last battle of the Satsuma Rebellion. The last battle of Shirayama. That's what this battle's based on, which did happen in 1877. And it was the Imperial Army under the command of General Yamagata Aritomo, and Marines under the command of Admiral Kawamura Shumiyoshi, going up against Seigo. I don't know how to pronounce it. Saigo, and they outnumbered his forces 60-1. Anyway. And it kind of ended as it ends in this a little bit, but not quite the same. But anyway. Right, so they're all getting ready and waiting. And I'm not sure of the logic of what's going on here in what happens. But anyway, they start firing the howitzers. There we go. And obviously they're missing, the dropping short. So they're adjusting their, shot. And then they're just waiting, and then he says, "Okay, do your thing." And then they all waves his guitar about. Then these come riding round the corner with flaming torches. But then they start shooting again, and as everything's blowing up, and they're all panicking now, the samurai, and dying. But then they come and set fire to these hay things. I thought, well, why don't you do that the first round of the first volley that were missing their men? Why don't you set fire to them then? And then when they start shooting, because they're using it as cover. He says they're using it as cover for a retreat. There you go. Does he say? Hang on. Where is it? Where does it say it? It says it somewhere. They're using it as cover for retreat, the thing. So why did they do that before they all started dying? But anyway, because it's all a ruse, because they're wanting to bring the army to them, much like, the Battle of Thermopylae. They want to control the battle to the samurai. So that's what they're doing here, but sacrificing soldiers along the way. Anyway, so they're retreating round the corner, around this little path that they've got round the corner. Around the other side of the hill, off they go. And obviously Omura, who's suddenly some general, even though he's just a businessman, but anyway, he's ordering, the battalion is ordering, get in there, go after them. And Bagley's saying we should use skirmishers and all that stuff. He says, no, send them all in. So they go round as well. And but obviously they're waiting for him, and then we get these fellas here. They're just waiting behind these wooden, the archers waiting behind these wooden stockades, and then they just wait for them to line up, and then they start shooting. There we go, through the stockades. So more sacrificed. They're just dying, and it says second volley, but What are you waiting for? Why don't you just do it now? I don't know. It's not as if they've got to wait for them to reload, because we learned earlier on they could put 7 bullets in. But anyway. And then he says, okay, and then he waves a guitar again. And then this little fella fires a flaming arrow. And this is where there we go. Here it goes. Hang on. There we go. Into these things, circly things. And then they all explode. Like that. Not very explosive, was it? But they do. There we go. Now they explode. They're all set on fire, but they're just there. Why did they roll them down the hill at them or whatever? But they're just there. And then it sees loads of soldiers on fire. Hang on. There we go. Look, it sees loads of soldiers on fire. How have they caught on fire? Because they were nowhere near. I don't know, but anyway. So it worked. Whatever. So they're kind of retreating. Then they're getting them with volleys of arrows. There we go. It's like Henry V, isn't it? Like Henry V. So they're getting them. This way. What happened to the warriors at Thermopylae? And he says, dead to the last man. So they have a good smile about that. So off they go, running into battle. And getting shot, obviously. But they're, there we go. And then ka-chung, ting, chong, fighting. Ka-chung, I won't be racist then. I was doing the sounds of swords. Weck. So anyway, so they're all fighting away. Close quarters, which is what they wanted. They wanted close quarters combat, so they could use the swords. So that's what's happening. And even though it looks as though they're doing well and holding their own, it soon becomes clear that I think for every one of the imperial ones that they kill, 2 of the samurai seem to be dropping, because they're still using the guns and shooting them and that. But then some more are coming. They're going to call in the reserves. I don't know, reinforcements or whatever. And the cavalry's coming in a minute. Oh, he's here. Look, hang on. He did call the cavalry. The cavalry came first. Here we go. There we go. Come on, call the cavalry. Here we go. Ready now. He waves his. Let's go back again. There you go. He waves a little guitar, and who sees it? I don't know. They're over the other side of the hill. Anyway, here they come. Eugeo with his Viking horn helmet comes over the hill. The cavalry and they go ploughing through the soldiers. Which looks good, but it wasn't real. See, I've gone too bloody far. Trying to show it. Here we go. Ming Na. Did I say when? I must have done. Anyway. Come on, show them riding through the soldiers, because they didn't do it. A little bit they did. A few horses were there. He's waving his guitar again. Oh, for God's sake, I've missed it again. There the reinforcements come on foot. Infantry. There they go. They go riding into the soldiers. For crying out loud. Here he is. There we go. They go riding. And he's immediately taken off his horse. It might have been another scene earlier on. Her nickname was the Cavalry. Was it? Oh, right. Oh, right. Well, yes, it was, wasn't it? And we mentioned Tahiti earlier on as well. That's spooky, isn't it? But anyway, never mind. Before the show, in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., yes. Her nickname was the Cavalry. Yes, it was. I forgot about that. Of course, it's a long time since I've seen it. Anyway, they're all fighting. I thought it was in here, where there were the horses. It might have been earlier on then. In the battle at the beginning in the woods. Where it showed, or it might be later on. I can't remember. It might be later on. There were cavalry charge at the end. But anyway, it's saying that some of the horses were there, on camera, and others were added later. They're like filmed horses jumping over blue hay bales, and then took them out, later and stuff like that, just to make it look cool. But there we go. Anyway, there's a lot of CG soldiers there fighting away. But there you go. Lots of blood spraying about. It's all cool. And you got people getting shot in the face. Tom Cruise does a cool, gory. I think I might have gone past it. See if I can get to it. I don't know. I can't remember where it was now. Was it after that? Was it? Is it him? No, it's not him. Is it him? No, it's not him. He gets a fella and he just cuts down through his his gun or whatever he's got, his rifle, and just slices his face in half. I must have missed it. Never mind. Right, so anyway, the battle continues. There's that fella throwing people about. Still don't know his name. There you go, they're still fighting. Look, on slow motion and stuff. He's being shot. No, the fellow that throws people about's being shot. But everyone, he's being shot in the face. They're all, no, people are dying. They're dying on both sides. I think more samurai are dying than they would like. There you go, son of a bitch thinks he can win. But then, Ugio gets shot in the back, but he's fine. Well, he ain't fine. He gets up and he said, I'm all right, get off, and just spits out loads of blood, as we'll see in a minute. And there we go. And off he goes. He's going to get on the horse in a minute. Tom Cruise, by the way, Algren's been shot in the leg. Katsumoto's been stabbed. But they're all carrying on. So obviously they've not been mortally wounded. But there we see lots of bodies. So they're going to... There you go. They've prevailed, but at a cost, because as you can see, not many people stood up, is there? But they're going to... They know that they're outnumbered, and they're going to get on their horses, and there's going to be one last cavalry charge, the charge of the light brigade and all that stuff. So here they come. This is where they're going to bring out the Gatling guns. Here we go. They're going to get ready. One last hurrah! So off they go. There we go. Charge! So right. So. No, they're using the howitzers first. Yes, they use the howitzers first, that's it. And they meet them, with rifles and stuff. And Bagley cops for it. Tom Cruise gets him with a spear or a sword. No, he throws his sword at him. There's poor Ugio getting shot again. Down he goes. By the way, a lot of these horsemen that we're seeing, some are from New Zealand. I think we're filmed in New Zealand, this bit. But some are Spanish. Well, there we go. I wonder if they use the same like they used in Lord of the Rings, because that was filmed not long before this, was it? So I wonder if they were still in the country, for the Rohirrim and all that. I'm sure they were Spanish. Well, the Spanish or Hungarian. Can't remember. Anyway, whatever. Right, so... There we go, they get the Gatling guns out. I've missed Bagley copping for it, hasn't I? Keep going back. Come on, Tom, get Bagley. There he is. There we go. There you go. Bagley's thrown his sword at him. Look, he's going to get it back. Don't worry. It's this special sword, isn't it? They had specially made for him. But anyway, so they get through them. They break through that line, and they're charging towards Amura. And so he says, "Get the Gatling guns out," and they're getting ready, and they're fumbling the cartridges. And but then they soon start. They're just mowing them down because the Gatling guns out like that. And they make short work of them. And this lieutenant, don't think we ever know his name, but obviously he's shocked at it all. And Omura's saying, keep firing. And then he says, cease fire, because they're done. They're finished. And there you go, stop firing. And Omura's saying, no, keep firing. He says, stop firing, because it's over with. And there you go, that's Omura saying, shoot, kill Katsumoto, kill the American. But, it's over. And Katsumoto knows he's lost. He's lost the battle. So he asks Algren to help him do his, seppuku, whatever the hell it's pronounced. So I was going to ask him to do that. And in the real battle, I forgot to call it already, and the Satsuma Rebellion thing, the fellow that were in charge, the samurai there, not Katsumoto, but the samurai there, he did that as well, and they cut his head off and hid his head to keep his honour for some reason, but apparently it was found again. But he does that, so this is the end of Katsumoto. He commits suicide, and there we go, they go in. And I think, Algren's the only survivor, everybody else is dead. By the looks of it, this is where he says perfect, you can see he's looking at, hang on, in his mind's eye, have I gone past it? In his mind's eye, he sees the blossoms, they're all perfect. It's not going to show it, is it? We caught a glimpse, didn't we? We caught a glimpse, but there you go, he's upset, he's the lieutenant, and he bows down, and all the others bow down, and I'm like, because I'm thinking of everybody bowing to Frodo and the other hobbits. Told you I'd make fun of it, didn't I, just to stop me filling up. But yeah, they're all bowing down. So that's the end of the battle. The bad guys won. It depends, what side you're on, I suppose, doesn't it? But anyway, there's watch him safely from his hillside. All the rest of the scenery is exploding around him, probably. But anyway, off he goes. Right, then some passage of time has happened. And here, the ambassador, Scott Wilson, the ambassador, is with his treaty now to sell arms to Japan. And obviously, Amura's all for that. But then before they can do that, before they can sign it, in comes Captain Nathan Algren. Here he is with I forgot his name already. Katsumoto, yes, I had to check back on the chat then. With Katsumoto's sword in his lavender-coloured thing. So here he is, he comes in, and he says, this is Katsumoto's sword. He would like you to have it. There you go. Hang on, what was I saying? He hoped, I forgot what he said, with his last breath, that he would remember the ancestors who held this sword and what they died for. Because remember, he was in the service of the emperor in his eye, protecting the old ways, or the traditional ways. So he accepts it. He says, were you with him at the end? And he says, yes. Then Amura's saying, Emperor, this man fought against you. And saying, shut up, I don't want to listen. And then he does a little speech. I've dreamed of a unified Japan, modern, and etc., and all that stuff, independent. There you go. So we have railroads and cannon and Western clothing, but we can't remember where we came from. We can't forget where we came from. So, we can't forget who we are and where we came from. So, Ambassador Swanbeck, I've decided it is not in the best interest of my company to sign your treaty. And they say, sir, if I may. No, you may not. He says, this is an outrage. And off he storms off. So he's saying, we should discuss this further. And then he says to Amura, And basically, I'm going to seize all your family's possessions and land and everything. I said, you disgrace me. He said, you have disgraced yourself and all that stuff. And if you don't, he said, if you can't live with it, take this sword and, end it yourself. Obviously, he won't do that, so he's just going to accept that he's going to take all his family's wealth away from him. And then he goes down to Olgren again, and then he says, will you tell me how he died? And says, I will tell you how he lived. And I'm filling up. And then we cut to him, he does his little outro, and then he says, nobody knows what happened to the American. Some say he died of his wounds, and others say he went back home, and but he says, I'd like to think he went to that one place where he found peace. There you go, some small measure of peace. And then it shows Tom Cruise going back to Hobbiton, Bag End. There he is, back there, with Tacker, who's doing some gardening. I hate gardening, but she's doing some of that. So there we go. So they're all happy, but not for long, because I imagine, modernisation will come to that village at some point, won't it? So, but anyway. And that's the end of the film. There we go. Cool film, I really like it. But it's like, a good historical, even though it's not very factual. It's like I say, inspired by a time in Japan. But it's a really good film. I really like it, and it gets me dander up, because it's all about honour and dignity and all that stuff, and friendship. I'm saying with all these films. I'm saying with Dances with Wolves. I'm saying with that. I'm always crying at the end of that as well. But that's it. Top film. Shall I say, give it a whirl. I know I say it for everyone, but it is well worth a watch. I think some people think it kind of gets poo-pooed a bit, from what I've seen anyway. So a lot of people said they like it. I mean, it won the bloody poll, didn't it? A lot of people do like it, but I don't know. Maybe it's because it's not a true story they're telling. It's a fictionalization of a time in Japan, which is kind of probably more honest, I suppose, really, rather than saying, based on a true story and then just changing everything like they usually do with films, don't they? U571, we're looking at you, etc. Well, pretty much any historically accurate movie, they always change stuff, don't they? But in this one, it's just a fictional story, inspired by an actual time in Japanese history. But anyway, that's it. Watch it. It's good. Right. So, we will leave it there, as the saying goes. What's coming up next? Not Last Samurai, we've just done it. Right. Friday night, appointment with Fear this week is going to be Eyes in the Dark, a low-budget found footage film, which I really like. Or I used to. I haven't seen it for a while. I hope I still like it. But that's Friday anyway. So that's something to look forward to. I don't know what next week's Magnificent Monday is going to be. I'll find something different. I had an idea about what I was going to do, and I forgot what I was going to pick. Never mind. Right. So thanks, Wingrace. I don't think anybody else popped in, did they? No, they didn't, did they? Just Wingrace tonight. And the chat was wide open. Just cleaning my eyes. Yep, cool film. I really like it. But any of those films that were in that list, I'd have probably been crying at the end. Zulu, Men of Harlech, I'd have been crying at that. Gladiator, I'd have probably been crying at some point in that. What else did we have? I don't know about Black Hawk Down. I don't think there's many bits to cry at in that, is there? But that's a good film. As Black Hawk Down. Well, they're all good films. But I'm sure we'll get round to the others at some point. But I don't know what next week's is going to be. I haven't decided. Right, I'm going now, because it's late. And I'm hungry. And I should be going to bed, really. It's 10:12 at night, I think. Is it? Yes, it is. So I should be going to bed. but I want something to eat. What can I have? I don't know. I haven't even had a drink, have I? I don't think I've had a drink of this. The whole show. Right, so we'll leave it there. So thanks for watching. Wherever you are, look after each other, and until next time. By the way, don't forget. I always forget. Don't forget to like and subscribe and all that stuff. And until next time, hang on, where is it? I'll save it.